So for this assignment, I focused on a resource called Quizzes, where students take online competitive quizzes with their peers on their Chromebooks as a way to review the content. And so for this assignment, we had to present a plan instead of a plan of how to teach. We had to look at a plan of how to learn. And this is kind of foreign to me because when in the past when I learned something, most of the time if it's technology based, I just kind of jump in and figure it out and maybe Google things or text a friend who's used the resource before, but I never really set up a plan. So it was definitely a different and new experience for me that was kind of tricky. And so something I did kind of gain and learn that connects with the flipped classroom reading is there is a lot to say about having independent learning outside the classroom. There's a lot that we can learn by ourselves that maybe doesn't need to be taught word for word in a classroom. On the other hand, though, looking at the Horizons document, there is this issue with just because there's technology available doesn't mean that all learning is equal or all achievements equal. And so when doing this assignment, I thought about how my experience with technology so far is different than my peers. And some of the requirements for this assignment, like how long the video needs to be or how we edit things and certain criteria for this assignment, all of us have very different backgrounds. And because we're all told to teach ourselves how to do these things instead of being taught in the classroom, we're all set on different starting points, which creates an unequal and unfair learning environment. So that was part of my concern about this assignment when reflecting back on it. And to pull in the Speak Up video, the teachers and the instructors really talked about how this newer generation, there's this expectation that we need to kind of go in and figure things out on our own. And I kind of think that's an unfair expectation for millennials and Generation Z who are coming up into the teaching force. It's just because we're young doesn't mean that we're perfect with technology or can always figure things out on our own. We still need support and guidance. And they did make some points about the professional development just needs to be different and not being gone, and I definitely agree with that. And lastly, the student teacher who talked mentioned how while there was a lot of self-learning, there was some basic groundwork being taught about how to make websites and how to develop curriculum. And then from there, she taught herself. And so I feel like with this assignment and some of our past assignments, we've really lacked that groundwork. We've just been expected to teach ourselves from nothing. I feel like going back to the Horizons point about technology does not create equality, I think that's a point that may should be considered for this class and some of these assignments.